Hello and welcome, this is Quarantine Life, and today we continue with part 3 of the What Went Wrong series, and continue to have a deeper look at how the United States became the epicenter of the coronavirus. The next important player that we really need to talk about is fake news and misinformation. Over the last 3 years of Donald Trump's presidency, he has spoken more than 16,000 misleading or false claims. The biggest problem here is that people actually believe everything he says, regardless of its validity. And as we've previously talked about, the problems with misinformation and lying, particularly when it comes from a position of power or authority, can have real-world consequences. And unfortunately, we're seeing the results of this all right now in the United States. In fact, in just the first 2 weeks of March, Donald Trump has made 33 false claims about the coronavirus crisis, not to mention the countless examples already discussed during the Trump coronavirus timeline. The big problem here is that he's been using the daily press briefings to the nation, which is supposed to be informative and factual, as a substitute for his Trump rallies, and they're rife with misinformation and inaccuracies. However, continuing on with the fake news and misinformation, during the early days of the United States coronavirus crisis, not only were falsehoods and misinformation being propagated by perhaps the most powerful man in the world, it was also being touted on his favorite news channel, Fox News. The danger here is that a large percentage of Americans were getting their information from one highly biased source. To give you an example of the type of language and the changing rhetoric of Fox News over time, I'd like to show you a clip.
This is yet another attempt to impeach the president. And sadly, it seems they care very little for any of the destruction they are leaving in their wake. We must test for the virus in order to stop the spread of it. What could be a very great recession. Some predicting even a depression.
At worst case scenario, it could be the flu.
I feel like the more I learn about this, the less there is to worry about.
I was about to say the same thing. We don't have immunity to this virus. It's a new virus. It's a pandemic strain of a virus we haven't seen before.
All the talk about coronavirus being so much more deadly doesn't reflect reality. Without a vaccine, the flu would be far more deadly. We are facing an incredibly contagious and dangerous virus that is moving across the world from one hotspot to another.
It's actually the safest time to fly. Everyone I know that's flying right now, terminals are pretty much dead.
I think you get the point, but please see below for the full clip. However, there is some potentially good news. There are reports that Fox News is worried about legal action regarding the misleading of their viewers about the coronavirus situation. Whether that plays out, I guess we'll see. But as previously stated, because of the misinformation, many people will unfortunately die as a result. The really sad thing about this is Trump's inability to take any responsibility whatsoever. In a recent press conference, when asked about whether he should take responsibility for the failure to disseminate large quantities of tests earlier, Trump stated, and I quote, "I don't take responsibility at all." The thing is, Trump always takes the credit, but never the blame. In fact, just in the last few weeks, Trump has blamed everyone except himself or his administration, including Obama, governors, hospitals, and even the first responders. And here, once again, we have a brilliant example of Trump criticizing Trump. This is a quote from 2013. It says, "Leadership, whatever happens, you're responsible. If it doesn't happen, you're responsible." Sadly, he didn't live up to these words. And just to finish off, the president is currently saying that if only 100,000 people died, he did a very good job. I personally don't agree that that constitutes a very good job at all. In fact, as a result of all the points I've previously discussed, such as slow testing rollout, incompetence, misinformation, and hubris, potentially hundreds of thousands of people will die. In fact, the nation's leading expert on infectious diseases and member of the White House, Dr. Anthony Fauci, has said that anywhere between 1 and 2 million people could die in the United States as a result of the coronavirus. Now, to be fair, that is the estimated upper limit of people who could die, but I think what's most important going forward is to watch for the goalposts and to see if they move as time goes on. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you gained a better understanding of how the United States sadly became the epicenter of the coronavirus. If you like this type of content, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button with your PPE, and as we always say here, don't forget to wash your hands.